Hello and welcome to episode 10 of my 172 or 20mm World War II miniature review series. Today we have Eureka Miniatures. Now these miniatures are fantastic. They were kindly sent to me by Nick at Eureka Miniatures, who's a great supporter of the channel. So if you want to know more about the miniatures that we're going to see, you can go to the Eureka Miniatures website, browse to the browse section, and you'll be able to find there's a whole heap of different companies. If we want to go to Eureka Miniatures, you can go ahead and select 20mm, which is just 172. They only have World War II and they have a few options. So you got the Japanese, which we're going to be focusing on today. There's not a huge range, but the range that they do offer is enough for a good few platoons worth of Japanese. So you'll be quite covered in that regard. They've also got a bigger range of Australians with a variety of different headwear, as well as some United States Marine Corps, which we will see in just a moment. There you go. There you can see that there's a few different options, as well as some Finnish as well in the Winter War scheme. Now, for those of you outside of Australia, you also have different options. So you've got Eureka Miniatures Australia, Eureka Miniatures USA, and Eureka Miniatures UK. So now you know all of that good stuff, you can go ahead and have a look at what you'll be given. Now I've turned the camera brightness right down to try and get as much detail as I can in these figures on the screen. So as I said, we've got a whole lot of Japanese. Now these Japanese are fantastic. I think they're really, really nice. They come in a variety of headwear, so I picked the helmet with the camouflage on the top, so it's just like bits of scrim and leaves, etc. They've all got bayonets, which is a nice touch, obviously for all those close quarter fighting that the Japanese were well known for. The poses are very natural, so a lot of firing and advancing, and some as if they're thrusting the bayonet. There's a bit of cleanup involved, as you can see here, so a bit of extra bit of swarf that needs to be cut off. And the barrels bend so easily, so you're going to have to be a little bit more delicate with these medals compared to other medals like AB Miniatures. For example, AB seem to have a bit more substance to their weapons, so they do flex a bit more, these Eureka Miniatures rifles, but it's nothing that won't bend back into place. I did bend one quite a lot and there wasn't any noticeable damage. Obviously, being metal, that's what you'd expect, right? There's a little bit of excess metal on the legs and that, but that's just typical with metal models. The actual equipment that they've got is fantastic. The bayonet scabbard actually doesn't have a bayonet in it because the bayonet's on the rifle. So that's a nice detail that hasn't been missed. Sometimes you'll find that they've got the bayonet on, but they've also got a bayonet in the scabbard. So that's a nice touch. I know it's simple things, but it's really good. Then we've got, I believe this is the Type 98 LMG. I could be wrong with that. I'm not too familiar with my Japanese. The facial expressions are really nice with these as well. A lot of them have got their mouths open as if they're screaming and charging in like some sort of banzai charge into the enemy's front line. So these are going to be such a fantastic piece to put on the tabletop and get some fantastic pictures as well. So you can see that the poses are similar, different weapons, but they do vary slightly, and they're all in that sort of advancing pose other than the odd guy that's firing that rifle. We've got another one here who again is sort of screaming as he's getting ready to charge, perhaps pumping himself up for the charge. The equipment, they've got some sort of bag, they've got their rifle pouches, very few of them, a water bottle, and not much more else. Again, I'm not too familiar with Japanese equipment and webbing other than what I've seen online. It is something I really do need to look up because I'm very fascinated in this period, but it all looks to be there. And these, along with Simon Soldiers, seem to be the best offering of Japanese miniatures in this scale on the market currently. I'm yet to find anyone else that makes it really good Japanese. I'm happy to be proven wrong, and I'd love to know if you've got any other ideas where you could find some of those. So yeah, really nice. The bases are super thin, which is really good if you like to put putty or some sort of texture on your base. And that helps with your basing a lot. So you're not having to put too much down to hide the fat lips that some bases have. These are super thin, so super easy to put on. If you want to snip those bases off, even better. You've got very little metal on there, so you can use your good side cutters and you can snip away at that metal. It's so soft, it's not going to damage those claws on your snippers. Then we've got a guy carrying a flagpole, so I do need to source a 172 scale Japanese army flag because these are going to be for the jungles of Burma and India. But that's a really nice touch. I love this part of the Japanese army with in terms of miniatures, so the flags and the samurai swords. This set does have a guy with a samurai sword. I actually chopped off the guy's hand to put onto an AB miniature model to give him the samurai sword, my British officer. So you will get an officer, but just he's not in this video with his samurai sword, unfortunately. But if you're familiar with my Instagram, you would have seen that model many a times, as well as the new Chain of Command book. He also features in that for the Far East supplement that's just been released. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I would highly recommend it. My miniatures do feature on there, as well as some other fantastic miniatures, and Richard put a lot of work into that book. But anyway, we're here for the Eureka Miniatures, just a sly little plug. They're just fantastic, these Japanese infantry. I love the facial expressions. They are really what make this. They really do look like the sort of Japanese that you would imagine to be running in, fearless as anything, straight into combat. Now we've got a light mortar team with very small little mortar here. Again, fantastic poses. These guys have just got your plain sort of helmets on. They've also got some sort of tarp or something tied around the back. So if you know what that is, please do let me know in the comments. I hopefully would have found out more by the time I've researched into the Japanese a bit more, but they look really nice, really sort of natural poses as well, which go really nicely together. And the bases are thin again, so they're going to be easy to put some nice texture down. And there you go, they do look really nice together. And then we've got the medium machine gun. So he has, again, just got a normal sort of helmet on. The pose is really nice. He's crouching or kneeling, I should say, firing. We've got another guy with a rifle and bayonet and his stick of ammunition for the heavy machine gun or medium machine gun. Really nice pose. I do like this machine gun team a lot, actually. And the actual gun itself has plenty of detail on there, which is a lovely thing to see. Lots and lots of detail. Bit of cleanup involved, but honestly the metal's so soft that you're just going to be able to come along with a standing knife and it's just going to fall off like a hot knife through butter. It really is, it's so soft. So, you know, pros and cons to that, which are obvious, but it makes the cleanup process just that little bit more easier when we're talking about cleaning up metals. And then I believe the gun will attach something like this, if I can sort of show you in the shot a bit better. So it will attach something like that, and then obviously you'll put your gunner on the back of that, as well as your loader next to him, and he'll just be putting down some rounds. So we've got AB, Adler, Simon Soldiers, Eureka, and Exxon. So you can see that Eureka are a little bit on the smaller side, but their base is a lot thinner as well. So you've got to take that into consideration. So they're compatible with Simon Soldiers really nicely. So overall, I will give Eureka 26 out of 30. So 8.5 for level of detail, 8.5 for casting quality, and a 9 for satisfaction. I love Eureka Miniatures. I love the company and everything they do. So obviously satisfaction is 9, casting quality is 8.5. Just because the metal's so soft, it makes for the cleanup just a little bit better. And then there we go. We've got an AB Burma Brit against a Eureka Japanese infantryman, and they look really nice together. So this is episode 10, guys. We're 10 episodes into this series. I'd love to know what other companies you'd like to see. There's a few that I've reached out to, but unfortunately I haven't heard anything back. So that will involve me purchasing them at some point or another. But I do have a couple more companies that are sending out stuff. They're just in transit at the moment, so these review series might be slightly delayed, and not every fortnight or however often I was doing it. But a huge thank you goes out to my Patreons and YouTube channel members for making videos like this possible. If you want to join their ranks, please do check out my Patreon and YouTube member options, as well as a huge thank you going out to Nick, as always, for your fantastic support for the channel and for providing me with these sample models. That is all for today, guys. I will leave it here and I will catch you at the next one.